Well, afternoon boys and girls. As I ventured this way last week on the search for fish, I thought I'd come back again. I'm making over a few hours down Sutton, Staithe. This is a mega old haunt for me. Obviously come down here when I was like 14, 15, my mates, my mum dropped me off or my mate's dad dropped me off. Been a long old while since I've been down here. Basically loads of gudgeon down here and a few roach and bits and pieces. Not tons of fish, but a good day's sport. And at the minute, well, there's nothing being caught anywhere, and the colour of this water, I thought it's got to be worth a shot. Everyone's been trying every other lake and river and everything going, and that and had nothing. So, last chance saloon, let's try in here. I should have really bought my pole, but there's a lot of wind here today, 25 to 35 mile-an-hour winds, was blowing a hoolie, so I thought I'll sit it out on the quiver rods again. That's easy fishing, innit? And it's bloody cold in this wind. That's about, well, the forecast said it's 0 to -1 wind chill. And it ain't very warm. Tell it ain't very warm. I've even put my old carp tracker, duck downer, bib and brace on. That doesn't get out very often. I ain't used that in probably 15 years since, well, 6 years since I was last carp fishing. The old duck down bib and brace is bloody warm and lovely. It's a good bit of kit. The only problem is my boots had all little mouse poos in, so I ain't got them on. But there you go, that's life. As you can see, the rig's pretty basic. Just a little 30-gram feeder, running bead, rubber stop, swivel, and a little size 18 spade end at the end. I just tied it on with a old Matchman hook tire, blast from the past. But I'm just going to use red maggots and a bit of crumb. Nothing too major. Let's see if we can oink out a few gudgeon. I ain't caught a gudgeon in donkey's years. Make a lot of difference catching a little gudgeon compared to when I used to be on Homersfield and getting like 30, 40, 50 pound carp. But I still like doing this sort of thing. Well, I'm all baited up, let's hope we get a fish. I'll put one rod just off the corner of the bow of that boat there, and another one in the middle of the main channel. That's quite a deep little place. We used to get loads of gudgeon here as kids, and I haven't fished this in God knows how many years. But you always wouldn't let a few fish in the winter, and you've got to look at the colour of the water, it's like mud in it. That is a high pressure at the minute, so most places just gone gin clear. But here, that ain't, so yeah, let's give it a go. This back onto Sutton Broad. That ain't much of a broad, it's a narrow gutted old thing. It's not like the broads you think of around Norfolk. Hope we can have problems off his swan. I come straight off. I done nights last night, so work shift. So I worked all weekend nights, and then I suddenly thought, yeah, I'll come fishing. I've been thinking about it the last couple of nights, getting all excited like a little kid. The weather's crap, it's cold as hell, blowing a gale, but hey out. Fishing's that itch that need to be scratched, innit? I'm sitting here, look at the old quivertips. There's worse things you can do in life, isn't there? Well, there must be a few fish here. There's a cormorant sitting in the tree straight above me, bloody thing. If they're a bait, there must be some fish here, but they do hammer the small fish big time, don't they, the cormorants? Let's hope this one bugger off. Well, all the traps are set. Let's hope we get a fish. If I blank today, I might bin the footage. I went in the river the other day, the Yarmouth River, blanked. Went in my boat, or Dad's boat, and had a few fish. And then next minute I went with the quivers again down Molesby, blanked. So normally I keep all footage, but if I blank again, I don't think I'll be able to show my face, will I? I've got someone call me Lily Savage, blankety blank and all that lot. So yeah, if I blank today, this footage might be in the bin. Well, the gear's been out about 20 minutes and I haven't had a single bite yet, but the coffee's good. It can be hard going in these cold conditions. It's only like 4 degrees today, I think, but it's a good amount of wind. That really do make it cold, that cut right through you. That's why I've got my old winter gear on. Lovely and warm. You can't beat stuff winter gear with down in it. It's a lot warmer than any synthetic stuff in it. That really is good. I've had this probably 15, 20 years. That's lasted really well. Good quality winter gear is definitely worth buying if you're fishing in the winter in this sort of weather. Icy, cold, nasty. Get some good winter gear, boys and girls. Well, I just reeled in for the first time, checked on both rods. The bait was just in front of the bow of that boat. That's a lovely clean bit of bottom there. You flick the feeder in there and pull it back, and that pull back so the bottom's lovely and clear. In the channel there's a bit of silt you can feel. So I'm fishing two different bottoms, but the maggots are totally untouched. No surprise there. But once every half hour, just flick that little bit of feed. Ain't no doing any harm, is it? Well, I'm only bloody mega confident now. The left hand tip started twitching. Definitely a bite on it. Started twitching a little bit. I tightened up to it and reeled in. There weren't nothing there. But once you're starting to get a twitch, that means something's feeding, doesn't it? The maggot was a bit chewed and manky, but I obviously didn't connect with it. But just to see that little end twitch, that gives you so much faith and confidence, doesn't it? I'm like an excited little school kid sitting here now. Just because the end of a quivertip twitched a few times. That just show you that the fish are feeding now. So that's got to be a massive, massive bonus, isn't it? Well, I've been fishing about an hour and 45 minutes. And apart from that left hand rod, little bite on it, a few little rattles, there's been nothing. I don't know if you remember from as I ain't fished here in so many years, probably like 30 years ago, you reminisce about all the times you had loads and loads of gudgeon and roach and stuff out of here, but I didn't see a hell of a lot today. I don't know what's going on, but nowhere seem to be fishing. I think I've been getting a few fish at Beckles and that sort of thing, but there hasn't been a lot come out anywhere. This weather has been crap though, it's just been high pressure after high pressure. But I'm just making bloody excuses now. Please, fishy fishy. I'm so excited to just get one. I'll be so happy with like a gudgeon or two. Well, I just saw a little jack pike splashed on that corner over there. Unfortunately not. That bloody cormorant's working the swim. It's just behind that boat there now. Little sod. Not exactly what I want. If the fish isn't feeding, the worst you can have is a predator moving about, innit? Bloody cormorants. They want thinning out a bit. Oh, shouldn't say that. Might upset a do-gooder. But it's true, innit? Well, just on a random hunch, I've moved my right hand rod. Obviously I've got my left hand rod just off the bow of that boat, but my right hand rod was in the middle of the channel, same sort of distance away, but I've moved it further along into there, level with the stern of that boat, right further back. So I remember years ago vaguely we used to get a lot more fish further into that cut than we did right at the front here. Well, 30 years ago I can remember it. I was only a kid, 15. So yeah, I've moved my right hand rod right further back in there, and hopefully we'll oink one out from there. Well, I've just rebaited. One thing you might notice is that boat what was there is no longer there. The boat yard is now pulled on the slipway, so that's gone. But I've stuck a rod just right on the tip of that bow. I couldn't get any closer unless I sellotaped it to it. But the right hand rod, I'll put it near the stern of that boat. See how it going at. I'll be recasting like every 45 minutes. I've had one bite since I've been here, so yeah, it's not looking good, is it? There's a couple of cormorants working through here. Bloody things. But they ain't stayed here for that long. Well, that one's gone back up in the tree again. But they come in here for a little while, and then just to catch a few fish and then back up in the tree again. At least there's one thing enjoying the ground bait. Would you believe it? I love a bit of brown crumb. Give it a good belly full in this cold winter. Look at that. Yum, yum, yum. Loving it. I don't think he'd care if it's too moist or too dry. Or haven't been riddled. He's filling his belly. Well, still nothing on the home front. Pigeon had a couple of balls of ground bait. He was quite chuffed. What I've now done is I saw the cormorant working on that far margin, so I now cast a bait about 2 foot off the bank there, so if there's a few fish under there, you don't know, that could be an undercut bank and there could be a few fish right underneath the bank there, like they do on the Broads when they hide under reed rafts. But we can just try, can't we? Desperate times, desperate measures and all that. Well, 3 hours in the cold, 1 bite and no fish, that's enough for me. God, I'm blinking freezing. Even the cormorant's given up and gone back in the tree. But there must be fish here if there's a couple of cormorants working in here. But they don't seem to be feeding at all. It's got to be the weather. Never know a winter to fish so bad down on the Broads. It's been bloody terrible. Well, as Sutton Staithe was so poor, I decided to nip up the road to Stalham Staithe. Alright, I'm very primitive now. I just got my 2 quiver rods and sat on top of my box. But I'm fishing. Alright, this place is really pull territory, no doubt about it. There's only a little old bit here I'm fishing. But who knows, might be a fish or two. Instead of sitting on a box, I'm going to sit on my bucket, my maggots, my ground bait there. I'm just going to sit here for an hour or so until I get on. Can't do any worse than that Sutton, can I? This is a lovely little place. I haven't visited in years either. Right, it must have been 30 years since I've been here too. It used to hold massive huge shoals of silverfish in the winter. They might even be here now, but nothing seems to be feeding, not like it used to. Normally you come here in the winter and that'll be alive with fish. But yeah, well, the gear's only been out about 5 minutes, so give it a bit of time. This is quite primitive. Sit it on the box. Oh, don't you said a tap then? This is looking good. Looking more productive than the last 3 hours at Sutton. Yeah, that's a bite, no doubt about it. I'll just move the rods to the floor to make it a bit more stable. That's easier for me to see the tips a little bit higher. Fingers crossed I get a fish. Can't blank again. Christ on a bike. Be terrible. Well, Stalham Staithe was a lot more built up than Sutton, so you don't get so much wind in here. Obviously all the buildings around me have blocked all the wind off, so I don't need to have the brolly or nothing. Just fishing basic for the last hour of daylight. See how it go. Fingers crossed though. I'm gagging to get a fish. I can't blank. But fishing has been bloody terrible lately. I'll give them that. Oh, it's got to be this weather. Just high pressure after high pressure. Been horrendous. I'm feeling loads more confident now. Just reeled in the right hand rod. And there's no maggot left. So something out of the way, but get the odd blast of wind coming through here and it make the tips bounce around like hell. But I didn't see a bite, but maggots don't come off for nothing. They are barbed up and everything. But who knows, they could be feeding really finicky. I just recast both rods in the usual places. See gusts of wind, then keep pulling tips around. I should really have them lower, really, get them out of the wind, but that's a bit awkward. I'm only doing a little hour here, so I ain't going to get all the gear out. I'll just fish them one off that point here, right tight, a couple of foot from the bank, and one about a rod length off the bank in the middle. Give a bit of variety, don't it? Different depths of water, but if you look at the lines, that's quite deep here. The lines are a good old angle. You wouldn't bloody believe it. Look at that. A little tiny roach. Tiny little thing. Barely fit in my hand. I am so pleased to get it though. Blank avoided. No more Lily Savage 8 fits, what some bloke suggested. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. Well, I better get that back. And let's see if we can get another one. Cool, that's a tiny little old roach, wasn't it? But that's made my day. Sometimes something so small. Stop the blank. Ah, oh, pressure off. But I would like to get a few more. That's been hard won, that little roach. Jesus Christ. I had a couple little bites now, see that? See the right rod just go then? They're very fine bites, they're not like good sized roach you get in the summer that rattle a few inches. They're like 1/4 inch little knocks. obviously roach are attacking the feeder as well as the hook bait, but that's bloody nice to see after how dead it was at Sutton. God. Well, I had 2 or 3 bites now, but I don't seem to be connecting with them. I'm reeling in, getting a chewed up maggot, but I think them roach out there are tiny little things. They're like the size of your thumb sort of thing. So they ain't taking the whole maggot down, they're just chewing bits of it, I think. They ain't getting hooked, that's for certain. But a couple of bites in this at the minute. It's like winning the bloody lottery, innit? It's been such a cold, crappy day at Sutton, and then you come down here, get one little fish and start getting a couple of bites. That uplifts you so much. Brilliant. Would you believe it, getting this excited over a roach size of your thumb, when a few years ago, fishing the big carp waters, I'd put back £10 bream and tench like disgust. Well, I've only gone and got another one. Look at them, tiny little old things. But it made me so bloody happy just to get a few fish after the last few hours. Look at that. Little roach. Got a mark on it, it's always been bitten by something. There's a lot of predators now, so who knows, but lovely to see. I'll just get this unhooked and get it back. Second fish, whatever next. Well, I've only gone and got a bloody another one. Really tiny little roach, but I'm so happy. Strange thing is, they've all been on the same rod. Even though the rods are about 8 foot apart, I'm getting knocks on both. I can't seem to hook them on the other rod. But there you go. Come on, you little bugger, come out. He's all unhooked. Off you go. 3 roach, whatever next. I'm coming for you, Blakey. You only had 2, I've got 3. Well, I just looked at the hook on the rod I haven't been catching on, and I noticed that the hook is slightly bigger. That's the same size hook, both might be 18s, but that one was slightly bigger. That looked more like a 16, so I've gone and put a 20 on that one, and let's hope we'll start getting a few fish on the left hand rod as well, because the only difference is the hook size was smaller. Well, I only gone and got fish number 4. Look at that, still on the same rig, same rod. I'm not getting nothing on the other rod, getting the bites was not hooking up, even though I put a smaller hook on. Who knows? But it was lovely, little tiny roach. Lovely just to catch them, isn't it? Brilliant. Look at that, number 5. See, look, might actually be slightly bigger. But lovely to see. Who doesn't believe it? I never thought I'd be so excited over a few little tiny roach. They are tiny, but I'm ever so chuffed with them. Over the bloody moon, look. He's hooked in the mouth and lip, and off they go back. But yeah, I'm so excited. After blanking all day, then suddenly started getting a few. Let's go on a treat. There's clearly quite a few roach here, so I'm regularly feeding. I ain't putting a lot of feed in. My little swim feed, I'm filling it about halfway full of ground bait, not a huge amount, and I'm not putting no maggots in it either. Just a tiny little trickling of bait constantly, every 10 minutes. Unless I've got a fish, I'm reeling in. Just keep topping up the swim, just keep it feeding a little bit. There ain't much in it, it's just brown crumb virtually with a few scalded pellets. And that's all been mushed down to powder, so they ain't getting that much feed, but I think to start building the swim up, you've got to constantly. Oh, the tip's going on. I've got another one out. And there's another little one. Is that 5 or 6? I don't know, but they're very much well received. But all I'm doing is constantly just a little tiny bit of feed. Hardly nothing, but enough to keep the swim going. This clearly ain't ideal gear I'm using here. If I was in a pool, I'm sure I'd had loads of them. But I ain't got it, and beggars can't be choosers. You've got to use your gear you got with you. But that was a good move moving from Sutton to Stalham. I want only small fish, but if no one's been getting any fish anywhere, getting a few roach, that's cheered me up a treat. I'm obviously looking at the rod tips as I'm speaking to you. Get a little twinge now and then. Boy, I had 5-6 roach now in the last half hour, something like that. Not a huge amount, but that's still good fun. That's just to see a fish. But like every cast, I'm just nipping like half a feeder full of crumb in there just to get a little bit of feed and try and boost the swim up. Right, I'm never getting massive match weights today using quivers, but you've got to constantly get the feeding, ain't you? Excited. Well, I don't know what's going on. I keep getting bites, but I can't seem to hook the fish up on the left hand rod. I've gone to a smaller hook, ring changes, and now on that, what I've now done is I now move the left hand rod over the other side, slightly different spot, hopefully more towards the middle, so hopefully I'll start getting a few fish there, because near the edge there I'm getting the bites but I ain't just connecting to anything, but the one was in the middle, I'm actually connecting. I had 5 or 6 fish off one rod and nothing off the other, so makes sense in it. You've got to move the rod, haven't you? Trying to ring the changes, the hook was bigger and they gone to the same size hook, I just couldn't hook them. And look, another little roach. I wish I'd come here earlier now. That's nice, starting to get a few little fish, starting to build the swim up. They're all just hooked in the lips, and just ever so easily unhook them. Get them back. But yeah, what's that, 6 or 7 now? Something like that. Can't complain this time of year. If you haven't been getting anything in ages, you can't fault that at all. Fish is a fish. Well, even though it doesn't look like on the camera, that's nearly getting dark. That's quite dark now, all the lights have come on. And I'm going to lose visibility soon, so I'm quickly going to pack up and go them. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you found it enjoyable. And nice to see a few fish, even though they were only a few roach the size of your thumb. But that is what it is, isn't it? Desperate times, desperate measures. In some matches, you'd be glad to get half a dozen of them little roach just to get away in.